The NBA media has been buzzing with debates on who will be the next face of the NBA. And while the media wants to crown Luka Dončić or Anthony Edwards as the next face of the NBA, Jayson Tatum gets completely left out of the conversation. Even while being the catalyst to the Celtics championship contention the past few seasons, he doesn't get the same respect that other rising superstars get in the league. Although he hasn't gotten over the hump just yet, the 26-year-old is already considered a top 10 player in the world. It's quite obvious that the media was quick to turn on Tatum just as quickly as they hyped him up in his first couple of years. Since entering the NBA, Jayson Tatum has been on a trajectory that could see him join the ranks of other Celtics legends, like Bill Russell, Larry Bird, and Kevin Garnett. And when the Celtics traded that number 1 pick in the 2017 NBA draft to move back to number 3, many were confused and skeptical. But Danny Ainge knew his pick all along and had immense confidence in Tatum, despite mixed opinions from scouts. And upon entering the league and leading his team to playoff run after playoff run so early in his career, the media praised him. But now, being in his 8th season and still waiting for a championship, fans and the media have become skeptical. But let's actually break down his career and all of the playoff runs just to see how impressive his run has been at just 26 and his 8th year in the league. And if you actually break it down, his career is aligned similarly to Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Steph Curry, who all didn't win their first championship until their late 20s, with most of their early and mid-20s suffering mid-round playoff losses like Tatum. But before we get into Tatum's career, I wanted to quickly shout out today's video sponsor, OddsJam. OddsJam is the top choice for data-driven sports betting, tracking over 260 sportsbooks in real time. With OddsJam, you'll become a profitable sports bettor, using strategies similar to those employed by successful investors and traders. How does it work? Thanks to the OddsJam arbitrage tool, which identifies discrepancies in sports betting lines across the market. This tool finds arbitrage betting opportunities, guaranteeing risk-free profits by spotting these differences. You can even bet on both sides of the market and still make a profit. But that's not all. OddsJam also offers a positive EV calculator to help you optimize your bet sizes, and a bet tracker to monitor your profits across all your sportsbook accounts. By using OddsJam, you'll bet smarter and more responsibly, leading to long-term profitability. Plus, they're so confident in their product that they offer a 7-day free trial. Ready to try it out? Use code DUNGEON for a 35% discount on your first month. During the 2017-18 season, Tatum's rookie season, the Celtics finished with a solid 55-27 record, entering the playoffs as the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. In Game 1 of the first round against the Milwaukee Bucks, Tatum put up a double-double with 19 points and 10 rebounds. By Game 6, he had upped his playoff high to 22 points. He helped Celtics clinch the series in Game 7 with 20 points. Tatum's real breakout came in the second round against the Philadelphia 76ers. In Game 1, he scored a career-high 28 points, becoming the first Celtics rookie to score 25-plus points in a playoff game since Larry Bird. He kept up the momentum, becoming the youngest player to score 20-plus points in 4 straight playoff games at just 20 years and 61 days old, surpassing Kobe Bryant's record. By Game 3, he had broken Larry Bird's record by scoring 20-plus points in 5 consecutive playoff games. His incredible performances continued throughout the playoffs, averaging 17 points per game and joining Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as one of the only rookies to score 20-plus points in 10 playoff games. Even LeBron James praised Tatum, saying he is built for stardom. Despite being overshadowed by Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell in the Rookie of the Year race, Tatum had a stellar first season. He was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team after scoring 24 points with 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks in a crucial Game 5 win against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Tatum's rookie year stats were impressive. He scored over 1,000 points and hit 40% of his three-pointers, joining Steph Curry as one of the few rookies to achieve this. By the end of the season, he was no longer just a rookie, but a key player for the Celtics, especially after injuries to Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. In Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Tatum's standout moment was a poster dunk on LeBron James. Although the Celtics didn't make it to the finals, Tatum's performance signaled that he was on his way to becoming a special player. Fast forward to the 2018-19 season, Tatum's second season, he continued his rise. He entered his second season with a ton of confidence, coming off that strong playoff performance where he averaged 18.5 points. The expectations were sky high, especially with Kyrie back in the lineup. While some critics were disappointed the Celtics didn't make it to the finals, Tatum actually improved his stats, averaging 15.7 points, 6 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game, up from the 13.9 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.6 assists in his rookie season. One big storyline was how the Celtics refused to include Tatum in any trade for Anthony Davis in 2019. The media was convinced Tatum was too good to be traded. Danny Ainge, the Celtics president of basketball operations, held firm, and Tatum was off the table in all deals. This was a huge vote of confidence in Tatum's potential. Many believed he was the crown jewel the Celtics wouldn't part with, even for a star like Davis. Starting with the basic numbers, in his 17-18 rookie season, Tatum averaged 13.9 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game. This was all averaging 30.5 minutes per game, which is a healthy mark for a rookie coming into the league. Contrast these numbers with the 2018-19 season, where he averaged 15.7 points, 6 rebounds, and 2.1 assists in 31.1 minutes per game. These numbers may be the simplest of statistics, but they're the simple statistics that mean a great deal for wins and losses. They reached the conference semifinals that season, but lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Moving into the 2019-20 season, expectations for Tatum were even higher. The media and fans alike were waiting for him to make that leap to all-star status in his third season, and he delivered. Tatum became a major part of the Celtics' success, showcasing his scoring ability, basketball IQ, and leadership on the court. Tatum was named an All-Star for the first time, being selected as an Eastern Conference reserve. Despite the season being halted by COVID-19, Tatum bounced back with big games, including a 34-point performance against the Trailblazers. He was named to the All-NBA third team. In the 2020 playoffs, Tatum led the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals again with series victories over the 76ers and Raptors. Even though they lost to the Miami Heat, Tatum's growth was evident. He averaged 25.3 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 4.3 assists in the playoffs, leading the team in scoring and rebounding. At just 22 years old, Tatum's stats and performances put him in elite company. He was on a trajectory similar to some of the game's greatest players. The list of players 23 and under who led their teams to the NBA Finals includes legends like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Tim Duncan. The Celtics were poised to keep him at all costs, literally. In 2020, he signed a rookie max extension worth $195 million over 5 years. It was the best deal according to the media, as the Celtics were keeping one of their promising talents, and it looked like a good investment. In 2021, Tatum's fourth season, his performances were off the charts. On May 4th, he led the Celtics to the third largest comeback in NBA history against the Spurs, scoring a career-high 60 points. He also scored 50 points in a play-in tournament game against the Wizards, becoming one of an elite few to hit 50-plus points in both regular season and playoff settings. During the 2021 playoffs, Tatum had a standout game against the Nets in their Big Three, scoring 50 points on 50% shooting. Despite losing the series, Tatum's 50-point game put him in the Celtics record books as just the 6th player to score 50-plus points in a playoff game. In the 2021-22 season, Tatum reached new heights, averaging a career-best 26.4 points per game. He hit the 40-point mark 4 times, including tying Larry Bird's franchise record with 60 points against the Spurs. He led the league in plus-minus for the first time in his career, proving his immense value to the team. The 2022 playoffs were a roller coaster for Tatum and the Celtics. He had some incredible performances, including 39 points in a Game 3 victory over the Nets and 46 points in a must-win Game 6 against the Bucks. He was named the inaugural Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game in the series against the Miami Heat. However, Tatum's appearance in the 2022 NBA Finals was a turning point, and the media went after him. Despite his efforts, Tatum underperformed by his standards, and the Celtics lost to the Warriors. The media, which had once sung his praises, turned on him. Critics pointed out his subpar performance, and ever since, the media has been less generous in their coverage of Tatum. You see, as Tatum's career progressed, the expectations only grew. Coming into the 2022 NBA Finals, Tatum was on fire. He averaged just over 29 points and 7 assists in a first-round sweep of the Brooklyn Nets, and dropped 46 points in a must-win Game 6 against the Milwaukee Bucks. In the Eastern Conference Finals, Tatum averaged 25 points and 8.3 rebounds, earning the first-ever Larry Bird trophy for MVP of the East Finals. However, the finals against the Golden State Warriors were a different story. Despite leading the Celtics to a Game 1 victory with 13 assists, Tatum struggled with his shooting, hitting only 3 of 17 shots. Jay Williams highlighted Tatum's 13 assists as a sign of his maturity and growth as a player, even on tough days. He's not always forcing it, and that's monumental for this team. Despite the early win, Tatum's individual performances were inconsistent. He came into the finals averaging almost 30 points per game in the playoffs, shooting 44.6% from the field. Yet, in the finals, he failed to score 30 points in any game. The Celtics took a 2-1 series lead but ultimately lost in 6 games. Tatum set an ugly record with 100 turnovers in a single postseason. In the fourth quarter of the finals, Tatum averaged just 2.8 points on 25% shooting, ranking 5th among Celtics players in fourth quarter scoring and 9th among all players in the series. He also averaged 3.5 turnovers per game, including 6 turnovers in one of the games. The media turned critical. Analysts weren't hesitant to demote Tatum from the superstar category. They insisted that he needed to step up, and others wanted to see a Steph Curry-esque performance from Tatum, something he didn't deliver in the finals. Tatum's finals performance became a major talking point. Despite his immense talent and potential, the media started to marginalize him, focusing more on his shortcomings than his success. They acknowledged his impressive stats but questioned if he could reach a legendary level. Tatum had an incredible regular season, averaging 26.9 points per game and leading the Celtics in scoring. Tatum responded to the criticism by elevating his game in the 2022-23 season. On January 26th, he was named an Eastern Conference starter for the All-Star Game, his 4th selection and first as a starter. He continued to break records, becoming the youngest player to reach 1,000 career three-pointers. At the All-Star Game, Tatum scored 55 points, breaking the previous record and winning the MVP award. Tatum's regular season was phenomenal. He averaged 30.1 points per game, the highest in Celtics history, and scored a league-best 2,225 total points. He had multiple standout games, including a 41-point game against the Hornets and a 40-point game against the Bucks. Tatum also set a franchise record with his 40th 30-point game of this season. Tatum carried his regular season form into the playoffs. In Game 6 of the first-round series against the Atlanta Hawks, he scored 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. In Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Philadelphia 76ers, he set a new record for the most points scored in a Game 7 with 51 points, surpassing Steph Curry's previous record. So that was the Steph Curry-esque performance they asked from him. In Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Tatum posted 33 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. He surpassed Paul Pierce for the most playoff three-pointers made in Celtics history. Despite injuring his ankle in Game 7, Tatum played through the pain, though it was clear he was not at his best. The Celtics lost the series in 7 games, and Tatum reflected on his injury, saying, "It was just frustrating that I was a shell of myself." This season, however, saw the Celtics stepping up their game even further. With Tatum leading the charge, they have made it to another NBA Finals. Make that 2 in 3 seasons. Tatum would need to win the championship to finally shut the media up. Jayson Tatum is showing everyone why he's considered one of the best players in the world. While we often demand a killer instinct from our NBA stars, a trait epitomized by legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, Tatum embodies that confidence. But his performance speaks volumes. Earlier in this year's playoffs, Tatum dropped 33 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, and dished out 5 assists in a 109-102 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. This win put the Celtics up 3-1 in their second-round series and gave them a 7-2 playoff record with an NBA best plus 92 postseason margin of victory. In the regular season, Tatum was 17th in total field goal attempts taken in clutch moments, defined as the final 5 minutes of the game within 5 points. Among the top 50 in attempts, he ranked 44th in field goal percentage and 43rd in three-point percentage. This perceived inability to shine in high-pressure moments has been a sticking point for critics. However, Tatum is starting to turn this narrative around, and the Celtics are back in the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 years, driven by the hunger to bring home a championship banner after falling short against the Warriors in 2022. With Tatum leading the way, Boston is in prime position to make it happen. But even at that, some analysts believe that the job is not yet done for Tatum.
You said that
this season. But in the words of the late Kobe, the job's not finished. If Tatum brings Boston their first championship in 16 years, he'll have conquered all expectations. It'll be a slap in the face for everyone that doubted him. But what do you think? Do you think Tatum will destroy his poor media narrative and lead the Celtics to a championship? Let us know in the comments below.